I've been needing to do two things: listen to Charli XCX and go out more. And this week, we are doing that.
Well, drop dead. What in the world are you doing in this neck of the woods?
I'm going to be listening to a Charli album every single day of the week. So there's 8 albums. And along with that, I'm going to be doing an activity that represents that album's vibe. I don't know what I'm going to get out of this. Maybe I'll really like every Charli XCX song. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll change as a person. I have no idea, but I'm excited to go through the journey. But here's the catch. At the end of the week, I'm going to take a quiz to see how brat am I. And if I fail that quiz, I have to get rid of my brat vinyl, and that would suck. So let's go to day 1. Welcome to day 1. We are listening to True Romance today, and we are here in front of Bass Pro Shop. You're probably wondering, you're listening to this album at Bass Pro Shop? No. Actually, on the other side of the camera, there is a Oklahoma City Riverwalk. All it is just a river downtown OKC. So I thought this would be the perfect location to start True Romance by Charli XCX, to have this beautiful day to do it. Plus, it gets me out of my comfort zone to talk in front of people. Could I get a strawberry lemonade refresher? So I just finished True Romance in this amazing location. Going into this, I kind of knew that Charli's music represents the club aesthetic, the dance, going out. So I was a little bit worried about some of the activities that I would be doing for this video. So I'm back at the house and I listened to True Romance for a second time. And I honestly think this is a pretty strong album. Yes, there's some little problems with a couple of songs that I kind of got annoyed on the second turn. But for the most part, I really did enjoy it. Some of the beats are really good. I think Black Roses is my highlight, my favorite from the album. I think the weakest this album is at Cloud Aura, even though I kind of enjoy the song, but the lyrics are kind of messed up. And I don't really like the rapping in the song either, but what are you gonna do? I still kind of enjoy the track, to be honest with you. And going to listen to it through walking around downtown OKC was one experience, and then sitting here and listening to it, yeah, I could definitely see someone at night getting in their feels at the club listening to this. Every song is basically about her mistakes or a guy that screwed her over. It's about relationships. But also there's a lot of love in this album too. There's a couple songs that like her being happy. There's a song about Twilight in a sense that I saw. And just a lot of creative energy, and I'm excited to see what the next one's like. Welcome to day 2. Today we're listening to Sucker, the second Charli XCX album she ever released in 2014. And we're gonna be doing it at Dave & Buster's. To say that was a awful experience would be a understatement. There was no games, and half of the games were broken. And I'm trying to vibe with Charli, which is bringing good vibes, but that place was not. It was bringing depressing vibes, honestly. Like half of the thing is fucking closed. So we have to call it audible. Here's the issue. One thing you don't know about me is that I don't drive well. Okay, me driving here was a big deal. I'm thinking the vibe is I've been wanting to get Dutch Bros for a while, and so it's right over there. But I think we just put on the Charli album and drive to it. It's about being free and letting go and boom pop, whatever the fuck you want to say. For me, that's driving and learning to drive. But you know what? For Charli in this video, let's fucking do it. Let's fucking conquer a fear. We might even go to Barnes & Noble's. Do I need a book? No, I don't need a fucking book. I got too many books I need to be reading, and I'm slacking off on it. But guess what? I am trying to work through this. And a lot of people don't do that. So yeah, let's do it. Let's fucking do it. Let's go to Dutch Bros and listen to the album while driving. Oh, shit. But we made it to Dutch Bros, and I'm about to pull in. And I decided I'm gonna get the pink. Man, I can't fucking speak either, man. I gotta get the pink flamingo because of Sucker. As I'm so overused playing, let's walk into Barnes & Noble.
Well, drop dead. What in the world are you doing in this neck of the woods?
I've been working on a video about an artist I really like named Charli XCX. She's like a music you wouldn't listen to normally. So I just finished listening to Sucker for a second time, and I gotta say, I like this album a lot more than True Romance. People that were just rude to you and you decided to say, fuck you to them, you freaking sucker, Like, I love that energy. And definitely with today's journey, I was definitely giving that, Dave and Buster's was a complete ass experience. So I decided to, you know what? I'm gonna conquer a fear and do this and have this great energy of fuck you that Charli gives to this entire album, which I love. Yes, there are a couple songs that I didn't really care for it, specifically like Gold Coins I didn't really care for. Die Tonight, just there's a couple of songs on here that I just wasn't really vibing with. Plus she was doing a bunch of soundtrack songs, which I love. Literally, that's my favorite thing in the world that we spoke to yesterday. But Charli is conquering so many different things in the music industry at this point. You got great hits, great soundtrack hits, people are knowing your name, people that look down on you or trying to come back to you, like she speaks in the song Sucker. It's incredible to see Charli at such a big point in her career, which is just the beginning. Plus, I'm growing as a person and getting things done that without this project and listening to Charli's songs, I don't know if I was able to really do. There's always something holding me back, but for some reason, this is really inspiring me. Welcome to day 3 of listening to Charli XCX. And I thought today we would try a new restaurant and listen to Charli and see that vibe. Into Number One Angel. I'm wearing the red to represent. Let's go in. This sucks, man. I'm the only one in here, but I guess it's good for the video. But speaking out in public like this is terrifying to me. So there is a cocktail called Club Classics, and I came here specifically for a fun cocktail. And there's this Charli song called Club Classics, so this fits perfectly. I don't know what I'm gonna get for food yet, but we also need to listen to the album. I feel like I need to be having Charli energy, but I don't right now. The worst thing happened. They asked about the camera. All right, but here's the Club Classic for Charli. Oh wow, that's good. Holy shit, I've never had anything like it. Food's here, let's try it. First time ever having margarita pizza. It's good. So I'm back, and that was extremely difficult. Recording in a restaurant is something I've never done. It's always been like one of my fears to do, and for this Charli video, I really wanted to conquer some of those fears that I've had. So filming, taking a picture, and also recording audio was extremely difficult for me to do, and it made me very uncomfortable. Plus it was awkward for everyone else. They were like, why is this dude have a camera? But anyways, we're here to talk about today's EP, which is Number One Angel. This is really the culmination of Charli's sound, in my opinion, because you start with True Romance, you get in the very lyrical drama stuff within her life and relationships, and then you go to something like Sucker that was very production oriented with her pop sound and stuff like that. And then Vroom Vroom was that electronic pop sound that we know that Charli uses today. So Number One Angel basically takes all that, puts it into one EP, and she gives it to us. I personally love the song Blame It On You. Charli does something with her voice where it goes, yeah, in the chorus. But I love the energy of this album. Even with being in a setting where I felt uncomfortable and doing something I'm not used to, listening to this album kind of gave me courage of just really having it as background noise, if you will, and really just diving into what I was currently doing to have that energy that Charli brings. Welcome to day 4 of the Charli video. Today we're listening to Pop 2. And yes, we are outside and it's probably really windy in the audio, and I'm sorry for that. As you saw, I'm in a park with a pink blanket when we're supposed to be doing purple. This was the only blanket we had in the house, so it's gotta have to work. We're just gonna chill and listen to this album. There's not gonna really be much things we're trying or doing, but I did actually bring a Brat theme beverage. I got a green apple soda from Jones. I used to love these as a kid. So we're gonna just chill, listen to this album. We're gonna try this Jones drink. I'm currently on song Tears. Let's give it a try. It's been years. That's good. Definitely perfect for the vibe that we're in right now. So it's been a couple hours since I listened to the album. I actually went to go see a movie, and having a couple hours to think about this EP, it really kind of made sense to me that it really does feel like a unified album from Number One Angel to this. Like they definitely feel distinct in their own ways. Like you get more energy / pop, a bunch of variety, I would say, from Number One Angel. And then from Pop 2, you get a jumble of songs, but Lucky stands out as this slower type of track within a park setting. Was really interesting. I don't know if it really fit the vibe. The thing I gathered from Charli through doing this the past 4 days is she might not really be a massive music fan, listening to music all the time like I do, or a lot of people probably watching this video, but she's just a fan of art in general in all type of ways. Lyrically, and the emotion that Charli brings to her tracks and vocals it's always going to relate to no matter what you're doing. So I find that very fascinating. But I'll be honest, Part 2 is not really my jam. I didn't really like it that much. I did like the song Fembot quite a bit. I thought that was a pretty good song, and reading up a little bit on that track, there was a demo of the song years later and it came out to fruition in this, and that was really cool. I'm tired. I'm really tired. Luckily, tomorrow's a more chill day. We got another album to listen to. I'm very excited for that. But tomorrow we're going to get a little bit deeper into who Charli is. So I'll see you then. Good morning. Welcome to day 5. Today we are listening to Charli. So today's activity is a lot different than every one that we've done before. I thought it would be interesting to do something that involves her favorite movies, because recently Charli opened up a letterbox and has been posting things, and she has her 4 favorite movies on there. So I thought it would be interesting to watch those movies, then listen to the album to see if we can get to know Charli a little bit deeper. So here are the movies. I've seen Phantom Thread, so we're not doing that one, but we're doing Charlie's Angels, Addiction, and a French film, I think. And we'll get to know Charli on a deeper level. So I'm excited to do this, so let's get started. So I just finished the first movie. It's a French movie at 3 hours long called Celine and Julie Go Boating. This is from 1974. And when I was first researching this video for Charli, I went to her letterbox and saw this was on there. So I was like, I'm going to for sure watch that one. Don't know if I'll like it or anything. I literally just finished it, and I have no idea what the fuck I just watched. It made no sense to me. There was no coherent plot line. It was just a bunch of random things. There were ghosts. There was a murder mystery. There was some type of time travel, different place scenario. I have no idea what happened in this movie. It was 3 hours long, and I have no idea what happened in this movie. But with that being said, this is a Charli video, and I definitely see the Charli-isms in it for sure. It's a very carelessness, kind of just nothing serious. The 2 main characters are always constantly laughing and doing things. There's like one serious moment, but then kind of goes away for the rest of the movie. And that's what I kind of get the vibe from Charli, just from my observations, is she has these songs that face very happy and fun and going clubbing. But when you really look deeper into it, there is a deeper meaning to it. And I feel like there's a deeper meaning to this movie as well, about friendship and just and life and your passions and stuff like that. Again, this is just really me pulling something out of this movie. I don't really understand it. Okay, just finished movie 2, which was Charli Angels from 2000. Never seen it. Seems like a movie that would be right up my alley, because the early 2000s, late 90s soundtracks were the greatest thing to ever happen to movies and music, in my opinion. So I need to catch up on this one. Holy crap, Charli has fantastic taste. This was a really fun movie. Definitely see the energy of Charli, especially how she styles herself, the color of her albums with the Brat. It's so Charlie's Angels coded, and it's fun. You know, I like to think that Charli presents herself and really makes it apparent that she doesn't really take herself super seriously, even though the subject matters and the stuff she's talking about within her music is very serious at times. But yet everything in her style, down to how albums come out and everything like that, feels so less serious. And that's what this movie gave to me to see through Charli, is the fun, quirkiness, cool colors, cool style. Just a really fun time. I honestly had a blast watching it. So let's get on to the third movie. Okay, so I'm in the middle of movie 3, Addiction. Haven't listened to the album yet, but I wanted to do something fun. So I looked up some of Charli's favorite drinks, and one of them that popped up was a vodka Red Bull. So I thought we would make one real quick so we can have to sip on through the movie, do the album, and try one of Charli's favorite drinks. I've had this before, but I never made it myself, so let's do this. Let's start with the vodka. That sound is so nice. This is, I think, the actor Dan Aykroyd's vodka brand. So I got it for like when I first turned 21. Okay. 1 ounce, 2 ounce Red Bull. Okay, let's try it without stirring first. Very strong. So I just got done with the final film today called The Addiction from the 90s. And I don't really see a connection to Charlie in this one. The only thing is the main character at a certain point in the movie just basically wears all black and then wears the glasses. I've seen Charlie have that look before, so that's the only connection. This movie is about addiction and vampires, and I don't really see a connection to Charlie within that. Maybe addiction to the craft and how the craft could take a hold on you, even though that it's so addicting it becomes draining. Maybe you can take it from that point of view. Maybe she just thinks the movie looks cool, because it does. This movie's beautiful. I know Charlie has spoken about some of her performances where she goes all out and hurt herself, and there's like this love-hate relationship with performing that she has. So maybe that is a addiction within herself that could be related to this movie. Maybe it's just as simple as that she loves horror movies, because I have heard her say that before, and she actually is going to be starring in one this year, so excited to watch that. So now we get into the album Charli, and I think this was a great idea to watch all three movies, because I really got a glimpse into who Charli's is, and it made this album so much stronger. There's so much about moving from relationships, making mistakes in relationships, friendship, and finding the comfort in certain places that kind of brings out the negative in you. Like, for example, for me is I love the movie theaters. I love going to them all the time. But sometimes me going to that place constantly that brings me solace and not exploring the world is a negative thing. And it can leave me sad and depressed by doing that all the time. And doing this whole project has taught me that doing these other things and fully going out there, even though they seem really tough to do, are really beneficial. I love the song Silver Cross. I love 1999, but I've heard that before listening to this album. But what I love about this album, there is so much uniqueness for Charli. I think this album is incredible from start to finish. Yes, there's a couple of songs I don't really care for, but there's aspects of those songs I really do enjoy. But honestly, this has probably been one of my favorite projects to listen to throughout all the 5 days. I love Sucker, but this surtops it. I honestly love this. And the fact that we get a song with Charli and Clairo on it makes me so happy. I'm a massive Clairo fan. She's my third favorite artist. And I think I remember listening to this track when I was first getting into Clairo. I'm like, I don't really care for that, but this is before Brat. And now listening to it now, I love that track so much. But I'm excited for day 6. I can't believe it's already been 6 days. It's incredible. I love this. So we're at day 6. We got 2 days left. Today is How I'm Feeling Now, which was released in 2020. Charli made this all in her home. This was an album that was made during the COVID era. So you're probably wondering, you're not doing it in your room again. That's a great point. But we are. Because if we need the full experience of what was going through Charli's head and what the music is, we need to be fully deep in it and really focused on it without having to do anything. So we're stuck in the room again, but we're gonna have some fun party lights. So I say, let's just get to it. So I just finished How I'm Feeling Now. And honestly, How I'm Feeling Now is, this is pretty much a love album in quarantine season. It definitely shows the struggles with Charli's relationships, how she personally feels about relationships, and how she's feeling about the situation of COVID. And to be honest with you, I didn't really care for this album that much. Love the song Anthems in this. It is so good. And actually reading more up on it, it was talking about how Charli really wanted to go like party and do stuff. So she wanted to make a song that kind of represents that after she watched the movie Project X, which I love and I have made a video on before. And she thinks this song could really fit in the soundtrack of Project X, which is amazing. And it makes the song so much better, but it was already good in the first place. So I enjoyed that. But reading Charli's thoughts about this album a little bit more, it is very much a love album. That's the way she describes it. Even though there are certain songs in there that are talking about friendships and talking about how maybe the person I'm closest to is my enemy. Very interesting stuff there. But honestly, I think the production and stuff like that was not really clicking with me. It might for a lot of people, but it just kind of felt chaotic just to be chaotic. And again, this was made during COVID, so that kind of fits perfectly in a chaotic setting and make chaotic music. It just kind of works in that way. It's actually good to hear Charli like being happy and making kind of happy music to some extent within this album. I know what happens after or whatever, and what supposedly all the songs were written about and who that was. I read up on that, but the point is she was happy in the moment and making these things, and even though she was having a lot of trouble with dealing with it, she also had some happy moments as well. And I think that's really cool.
We made it to day 7. Today's album is Crash, so I'm wearing blue, of course. I did read something about this album that Charli does not like this album. She does not like many of the songs that she did because it feels directly opposite of the direction of music she wants to go. So that's very interesting. And this is the one before Brat. So that's fascinating. So I was trying to think of a good idea to do with this album. And it's currently raining outside. And I enjoy walking in the rain. Plus, I don't really have any more options because you can't do anything outside. And then it's Easter today. So this is the best we got instead of staying in the room, which I promised I wouldn't do. So I say let's do it.
I'm back. Let's talk about Crash. This album's very interesting because I hear from a lot of people that this album was kind of made out of spite because it was the last album of her Atlantic deal. This was a label that was trying to mess with her creative vision and do certain things, but yet she signed up again for Brat, so that's also very interesting in itself. But the point is this is a very, very different sound than we have gotten from Charli. And I can speak to that, doing an album every single day of the week up to this point. It's very different than anything she's done before. I feel like the album is made up of little moments through her life. It's not particularly all her stories that she is writing. So she takes a moment from her life, gives it to an artist, which she said she went to a writer's camp, and all these songs came out. It's so different. Even the songs I don't really care for from the past projects that I don't really like feel more Charli than this. Even her vocal performances, which I like Charli's voice, but it feels very unmotivated, very less energized, not really much passion there at all. Plus things were constantly changing. Names to the album were changing, and all these things, just driving her car and having these kind of thoughts happening. That's the way she describes how she came up with the album title. I just feel like this album is made because she had to make an album, but there was also passion in there. I'm not saying, because those little moments in her life meant a lot to her, where she was putting her best efforts in production and her vocals and the music videos, and everything else, the writing wasn't really fully on Charli this time, and it didn't feel that way. It just feels so odd. You can give this album to someone and say, this is Charli and this is their first experience, and then they'll go to another one and I don't like this. She's changing her sound. No, this is what she was changing to. It wasn't that. I just find it very fascinating. And I want to look at what Charli's fans and reviews of this album, because honestly, I feel like there are some good tracks on there, but it doesn't really click at all compared to every Charli album we've gone through.
It's the final day, and we have to listen to Brat, which I've listened to Brat before, and I didn't really think of a great idea for the last day. But you know what? I think Brat is all about working on yourself and knowing who you fully are. So I'm actually just going to film my normal workout that I do, and we're going to just go with that while listening to Brat. So let's get it done. Welcome to the cocktail mixing hour. Today for Charli, we're going to make a Aperol Spritz, I think is what it's called. I looked it up. This was her favorite drink, and she just played Coachella, and I saw it everywhere. I guess she was sponsored by it, but who cares? You know, I wanted to do something like this, so we're gonna make it work. I put in 3 ounces of Aperol, 2 ounces of 1 ounce of club soda, and 3 ounces of the Prosecco. But yeah, we're making this because it's Charli's favorite drink, and I thought it'd be fun to do. So last thing is we need to cut an orange slice, which, how do you precisely do that? I'm gonna cut it in half, because we already have half. I'm gonna do 2. It's against the rules, I know. Do a quick stir. Will we like Charli's drink after a week of listening to all her albums and stuff? We might hate it. Let's try it. It's good.
It doesn't have the greatest aftertaste. It's pretty enjoyable. It's probably the Prosecco. Yep. Probably the Prosecco. Yeah, it's pretty good. Would I have it again? Yes. Did I make it right? Not 100% sure. But we did it.
We went through every single Charli XCX album and did activity with it. Day one was all about self-motivation. It wasn't really the music carrying me forward. It was me wanting to do this video and create this video and do these things, along listening to something I've been needing to do for a while. That's how I came into this whole project. But once I started, it was just go, go, go type of energy. I know one of the biggest steps forward for me to do it was to go on the first day and go out there on the Riverwalk outside, filming myself, but I kind of just picked it up and it started rolling pretty good. Some people are just naturally good at doing that stuff, and I'm not one of those people. I have to learn the craft. But I soon realized on that first day that everything I was doing is really related to Charli. You know, just doing these things and having that mindset that Charli has, and it really took over. If I was a little bit worried about something, I'm like, I'm gonna just go do it. You know, oh, I'm too tired, I'm gonna go do it. And it even leaked into conversations I was having. I kept on using Brat references and stuff like that because I was so deeply involved within this project. As I went through the days, there were a lot more difficult tasks. Like on the second day, I had to pivot a whole idea that I had because it wasn't too good. As I went through each album, I started to learn more about Charli, kind of piece things together. I would watch other videos along the way as well. A very confident, smart type of person that has a lot of troubles and faith in herself, even though she is confident about what she's doing. But after the fact, when it's released to the world, she becomes a little bit unconfident and needs that reassurance from people. She's also a workaholic, which I definitely represent. You know, if I'm not doing something, then I kind of feel lost on my own way. And usually people that are workaholics feel the same way. Charli is also a really deeply emotional person. She really cares about a lot of people and the crafts that she's working in. She cares about movies, music, I'm sure a lot more. The reason I think Brat Summer has sticked along for this long, it's almost been a year since it happened, is because Charli is a caring, really thoughtful personality, puts everything that she has into her music, and it's really apparent. And as someone that was following it for a week and doing an activity, I started to believe in that too. I started to believe in myself that I could do it. Learning about Charli and who she is, and then listening to the music and getting that from the music, not even lyrically, just all the instrumentals, motivated me to do it. I think that's an incredible message and something that I will carry for the rest of my life, for sure. Now, a lot of people have a definition to what Brat means for them, and Charli even stated like what she thinks it is, but I interpreted it as, I think it's the attitude of not giving up, believing in yourself, and even when you don't believe in yourself, keep going. And I feel like it's that energy. You know, Charli's kind of story kind of represents that a little bit, where she started off as this one type of pop artist and then started sneaking in her type of music, and then some of it didn't perform well. So she had to keep on grinding, keep on going. And no matter which pivot way she took, like in Crash of doing a completely different sound, there was still Charli in there. There was still emotion in there. And look what came after that, Brat. And I think Brat is just the beginning of that evolution that Brat represents. And I think that's incredible. But now it's time to actually do the Brat quiz to see if I'm Brat. How Brat am I? Let's find out. Let's find out. You're at a party and someone dares you to do something outrageous. What do you do? Because I would still do something. I wouldn't just watch. I'll have to do that one. How do you feel about breaking the rules? Probably that one. What is your go-to outfit for fun? Oh God, comfortable, I guess. How do you handle criticism? I think the more present Wiley would take it seriously and try to improve, for sure. A friend describes you as chill and easygoing, I would say. How do you approach a new challenge? I'm gonna do that one, because I do. With this challenge at all, I'm diving in and taking risks. What's your attitude towards trying new things? I'm always out to try something new and exciting, for sure. How do you react when someone tells you no? I respect their decision. I think it would be mine. What's your idea of a perfect summer day? There is no other one. That's me. How do you feel about spontaneity? Oh my God, I love it. That's all me. When making decisions, when do you rely on most? Instinct and gut feeling I mainly go with. It's the last question. How would you describe your sense of humor? I'm gonna do a little bit sarcastic. Let's see. Okay, here we go. To see if I'm Brat. Are you? That's not Brat. I'm halfway Brat. I will take that. I'm halfway Brat. That's not a loss. I thought I was gonna get a 0. I'm halfway Brat. Let's go.
I'll take it.